It's heartbreaking. It definitely is.
There is nothing quite like being on the outside looking in.
Smoke coming closer to the house.
And wondering, who's next?
When the wind blows, that's not going to help much.
Dick Hoffman has lived in the Black Forest for 36 years and knows his house, the house he built, is in there, hidden from view, somewhere underneath all of that smoke.
It's been so dry lately that, you know, one little spark can start a fire.
24 hours into this, vulnerabilities are now deeply exposed.
I think that's a house, because it's dark.
And on the inside, there is a tendency to wish you were back on the outside.
I can't tell if there's a house in there.
Alex Merrill spent the day patrolling his parents' neighborhood.
My parents live out here. I grew up out here.
It is a neighborhood far from the front of this fire, but a neighborhood that is burning nonetheless. Somber is a mood expressed often within these smoky trees.
And it's a really scary thing. I don't quite know what else to say about it. You know, it's like, it is what it is, I suppose.
It is what it is. Hot and horrible.
I'm just hoping that everyone stays safe.
We saw firefighters patrolling the neighborhood as well, but not nearly enough to keep every home from suffering the same fate. The same fate as this home on Windmill Lane. This is what this fire is doing, burning memories as it burns wood and metal in as cruel a way as possible. 1 hour after we saw it hit the roof, the home looked more like the remnants of a large campfire. It all leaves you with that vulnerable feeling once more.
Well, I mean, as long as we've lived out here, there's been talk of like the potential for a big fire to happen.
Who is next?
And it did.
This is awesome. Oh my gosh. It's like you really see this like movement happening.
3, 2, 1. We came all the way from Atlantic City just for this.
Come out here and party, you know, back home and get in trouble for stuff like that.
It's crazy how much everything's changed, you know.
Out here for the great 420 event, you know. It's beautiful out here, I love it.
I've lived in Denver my whole life. It seems like now even the officers and everyone else are more, you know, they got other things to worry about other than dealing with the potheads that are sitting here getting high and eating food, you know. That's pretty much what everyone does.
But it's all about Denver for today.
It's just got a beautiful energy to it, and there's so many people out, and it just feels really free. Like, why not?
It's incredible. I don't know. Everyone is so happy, and
Here, hit that button.
hopefully, it'll stay that way.
Just gunshots went off, 4 or 5, like pop, 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 pop. Everyone just ran.
I know, but I want to get out of here. I don't want to stay here anymore, period. This is ridiculous.
You know, I was right there in front of, you know, on the stage, and everyone just rushed to me.
And this girl actually got shot in the ankle. She ran up right behind us because everyone was trying to get over that green fence.
Carter, what happened, man? We were just like kicking it over there, and the guy came over and pulled a knife and started jumping us. And then like I got up on the ground.
What do you mean as a witness statement?
When I rolled over, they started shooting at us.
See who got shot?
Oh, my homeboy got shot.
Right here in the...
Did it go through or into his chest?
I don't think so.
Where did he get shot, buddy?
Right here on the elbow. Hey, calm down, calm down, calm down.
It's a sad thing, you know, because it's a good cause, you know. That's not what it's about, you know. It's a real sad thing, you know.
The dog's gonna be all right, and your boyfriend's gonna be all right.
I mean, this isn't the kind of thing you really expect with this many stoners, because stoners are usually peaceful people.
This is pretty incredible. You just don't see this here in Denver.
What happened was unexpected.
It's huge. It's ridiculous.
Seemingly inconspicuous in their minds.
They were just over the top of those buildings over there.
But alive and burning in their eyes.
When I opened up my blind, my whole condo just turned orange.
Minute by minute, it grew larger.
Oh yeah, we could smell it, we could feel it. I mean, it was right on top of us.
And larger.
Oh my God.
haven't seen a fire like this in Colorado ever in my whole life.
Nearly half of Denver's fire department responded, moving quickly, dodging obstacles, and spraying every 40-foot flame that spit embers right back at them.
Yeah, we have a good portion of the city here.
A lot of cops, a lot of fire trucks. This is kind of crazy.
You see the flames getting up so much, reflecting off the buildings.
As the fire burned, bursts of heat turned, pushing flames, ash, and smoke toward nearby homes. It was time to go.
I was asleep, and they came in the building, and they said, you guys got to get out, your building's about to catch on fire.
Firefighters fought harder, but the blaze was strong, and it crippled what it could.
Wow, that's a mass inferno.
A vacant building under construction in a heavily populated area.
And who knows what started it?
No cause, not yet. But they wondered.
And it's gone, it's done, fast.
And realized how crazy of a fire it truly was.
Oh, yes, but a safe one so far.
Those who were out there began to call it a night and hoped to rest in the cold shadows of a warm glow.
That's the biggest fire I've ever seen.
In Denver, this is Kevin Torres, 9 News.
Pretty crazy.
The Big Thompson River surged.
Little kids play place, bunch of logs, trees, you name it. It's flowing down the river right now.
A family used to watching water pass by their home.
We call this our sanctuary.
Now, watching their sanctuary float away.
They came out to try to save our horse.
Terry Brummagem could only watch as firefighters risked their lives to save her horse.
Just his head is up. We can't get to the horse. They tried saving him and no.
No telling what will happen, only that the water keeps rising.
Oh my God, Terry, the chicken coop.
It teetered and went, a coop full of chickens.
To see it floating away, that's life in there.
It looked like another part of this sanctuary was about to disappear.
Abby, it's worse than it's ever been, honey. It's taken over everything. That's why Grandpa wanted you to come out. It's already in Aunt Mickey's camper.
The camper, though, stayed put. So too did the coop. One by one, each chicken made it to shore. Even the goose found dry ground.
Fire and rescue were able to get them out for us. But this is devastating to see it continue to fill up.
A small victory, even as the Big Thompson rises. Sanctuary far from preserved.
It's all of Big Thompson River now.
Well, I was sitting in my psychology class and we heard this loud pop.
And I talked to one of the cops. We had a shooting at the school and I went, oh my God.
You could hear shots fired. I don't know if it was close, but it sounded close.
And at first we thought it was something that dropped in the hallway because a lot of things drop in the hallway and are really loud. Then after that we heard two pops in quick succession and it was like that wasn't someone dropping something, and we all got up and hid in the corner.
Sarah, are you still there?
She's in the chemistry room, and she texted us and saying that she's okay. She just told me that they're all really scared and that they're locked in their classrooms.
Yeah, we're going to get to that point. They're having checkpoints so they can keep accountability of all the kids to make sure that they know who gets released.
And he said, oh, they told us we're going on the bus very soon. So I just saw the bus and I went, oh yes, thank God he's fine.
As long as we got it out of there safely, that's all that mattered to me and for everyone else.
It's been a rough day for me.
On a typical Sunday, around 1,600 flights come and go from Denver International Airport.
I've been up since 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, they lost our reservation completely.
I'm trying to get to Bozeman.
Yet when more than 200 of those 1,600 are canceled.
It's not very good at all.
There are hundreds more. Well, you know.
How's my delay? My delay is not so good.
How is your delay going?
Whoops. It is what it is.
Talk to the mic. Our delay is really crappy because we're trying to get to Austin.
Those were the ones going out.
How is your delay?
These were the ones coming in. How was your delay?
It was terrible. We had a flight from San Francisco to Denver, and we changed that one. We're going to Minneapolis.
And now I'm stuck here. And the lines to get rebooked are about
3, 4, 5, or 6 hours wait.
It's safe to say time, or lack thereof, or too much of, somehow finds a way to catch up with us all.
I left Vail 3 hours early, but I needed to leave 5 hours early.
Somewhere there's a disconnect because they told me I couldn't get the buildings until Wednesday.
But I'm going to get on eventually.
But it says right here for $1,200, I can get there on an overnight flight. That's around 13 hours.
Eventually.
Get to walk around, talk to all the different kiosks, make some cool friends.
This day at the airport will be over.
And I have a 3-year-old that's been antsy-pantsy all day.
Although it may take a little while longer.
We'll see how it all ends up.
But it'll be okay.
How was the delay?
It is a feeling. It's a real feeling.
Pardon Bill Doherty for feeling like he's the subject of a bizarre sci-fi flick.
It's an odd feeling because I've never felt it before. You're the only one left.
Surreal.
Yeah, that's the best word for it.
Few words better describe the feeling of isolation in a part of town that is now largely vacant.
Yeah, it just every day there's less people, and today there are no more people on this side of the bridge other than firemen and sheriff deputies.
Surreal. Turns out it describes life on the other side of town as well. What other word would you use to describe a now plainly visible closet sitting on the edge of a still angry river?
But I think we took the brunt of it right here.
But take a walk down Greg Johnson's now crumbling road and take a left at the car, and you will understand the true depth of what's taking place in Lyons right now.
Welcome home.
A few nights ago, the river at the Riverbend Mobile Home Park jumped the bend and poured.
Go ahead. It's all right.
Poured right into Greg Johnson's home. The depth of the problem here is now measured in the amount of sediment that currently rests on his kitchen floor.
You know, I could be worse, but I lost everything, and that's just the way it is.
The way it is. No power, no water, at least not the stuff you can drink, and no hope of normalcy returning anytime soon.
It's the way of life that they're missing out on, or that they've lost, more so than their possessions.
140 buildings is the official tally in Lyons.
I ain't going nowhere, because I love this place, man.
Johnson says, surreal or not, he still can't imagine life anywhere else.
I just like the little town, you know, the little town community. It's a good place.
Chris Vanderveen.
I'm not going anywhere.
9 News.
Used to come out here, and I always talked to him, but he would have loved to. He would have loved you so much.
Air Force Master Sergeant Billy Fielden was buried at Fort Logan Cemetery 25 years ago.
And I thought he will be so happy here.
Bill's widow, Edna Fielden, has since moved more than 700 miles away to Minnesota.
Oh, this was to be the trip of a lifetime.
She wanted to bring her grandchildren to meet the man who served his country for 26 years and served his family until cardiac arrest took him away.
No, baby. He turned 58. In the hospital in a coma.
Edna wanted this trip to be special, unforgettable, just like Bill.
He was a wonderful, wonderful father and a wonderful grandfather. And these kids, unfortunately, never knew him.
She never imagined what they would find.
I couldn't believe it, Bill.
When they came to visit his grave on Saturday.
A piece of my heart broke off. I gasped, and I said, who is this?
A stranger's name is engraved on what's supposed to be her side of Bill's headstone.
And I thought this woman was in this grave with him, as I want to be.
All weekend, she worried. Cemetery offices were closed.
So she is not actually in there with him?
Absolutely not.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Cemetery Director Joe Turnbach says the woman on Bill's headstone is buried with her husband in another plot. He believes a headstone engraver made a mistake more than a decade ago, but never told anyone.
I do want to apologize to the family, and somehow we do want to make this right.
He's been gone so long, and it doesn't even seem like it, does it?
Edna says this place will never feel the same.
I don't want him here anymore.
All she sees now is a stranger's name.
I love you, Bill. This will be fixed. You can bet it's going to be fixed.
Good boy, Duke. You're my good boy.
Life's lessons linger on chilly autumn days in early morning hours.
At least it's not 3 in the morning, Duke. Yeah.
This self-described podunk cowgirl knows routine eases life's inconveniences.
I know, buddy. I know you're cold.
Yet she also knows routine lends itself to complacency.
And everything has to be perfect. There's no do-overs.
And complacency.
All right, big guy.
Cannot win.
Think we got her.
Not today.
Think you're all gussied up.
Lorraine Melgosa remembers.
I was just blessed to walk beside him.
Because those who remember honor, she says. And this honor has already outlived 2 of her Percheron horses.
He never let me down. If it was 100 degrees or 10 degrees, or half a mile or 5 miles, he just kept on going and held his head up high. Step up.
Fate dictates 10-year-old Duke's role.
Oh, you never know. Phone might ring tomorrow.
His role in this leg of Lorraine's long journey.
You know, my mom always raised us that you have to contribute to society, and whatever gift God gives you, you have to use that for the better of society.
Measure the cost of war, not in numbers, she says, but in names.
Every one of them is special. Every one of them has a story.
Staff Sergeant Liam Nevins' life story meant so much more than the 32 years he spent living it.
It brings you to your knees when you realize that a stranger died for you. And you just have to do what you can to honor that person and try to live the life that's worthy of somebody dying for you.
This routine began in 2005 when the war claimed a soldier from her hometown of Manzanola.
I miss him, but I know I'll see him again.
Tino Vasquez helped bury his son Justin on a warm summer afternoon.
It's a highly charged, highly emotional period of time. So.
Lorraine offered the services of her family-run business on one condition. Justin's family could not offer her 1 cent.
I can never repay her. I can never repay her. Seeing him go into his final resting place was, it was awesome. It was awesome. That was a great service to him.
And so it began. 1 time became 2, 2 became 10, and 10 became 50. Whenever a Colorado service member died in the war, her 1867 hand-carved caisson and pulling Percheron arrived to accompany on those final few steps.
The family's going to remember this for the rest of their life, and it's my job to make it a good memory.
Danny, Chad, Matthew, Blake, Dane.
The biggest fear, I think, of all these families is that their son or daughter is going to be forgotten. And that's our job, to not let them be forgotten. We have to remember them.
Andrew, Grant, strangers escorted at no cost.
Oh, no, you can't. They've already paid with their life.
And now, Liam. Liam Nevins.
It's just all I've known. I don't remember not doing it.
So many names. She remembers them all, but only his will serve as her last.
Try not to think about it being the last one. Look at these pictures and you'll see I've aged and I've gained a few pounds too.
Life's lessons linger inside retirement parties as well.
There you are. Come on, you guys.
A woman who spent so many years remembering, honoring, wonders why she now finds it impossible to forget.
Would you hurry up so I could cry?
But how could she, when so many families of the fallen remain unable to forget what she did for them?
I'll go to my grave believing that you're handpicked by God, because you're the strongest, bravest, most awesome group of people that I've ever been blessed to know.
John Vandergrift lost Matthew in 2008.
She has never forgotten who we are and what we suffered, and we'll just never forget who she is.
Never forget. For too long, this country has said it and moved on, she believes. Now her failing health will force her to do the same, and it is crushing.
Might be the last time. It's hard. It's been my life for 20 years. My kids grew up with this. I've always planned around it, you know, it's just been my life.
Too many faces, too many stories. The toll on her mind and heart reminds her no one can do this forever. But through this routine, she hopes she accomplished something.
Shame on us if we don't do it.
And maybe that remains the most important life lesson of them all.
And when a stranger dies for you, that's humbling. That's a good boy.
Chris Vanderveen.
Nice and easy, Duke.
9 News.
Nice and easy.
Rangeley, a good place to live. First thing you see is the cemetery. I think it's kind of cool. You just die and come.
All jokes aside, Rangeley isn't really all that bland.
Lots of good neighbors.
It's full of wonderful people.
A lot of nosy people.
People like Barbara Wade.
Yep, 79 years old and still kicking.
She is definitely not bland.
Oh, hell no. I don't want to live a boring life. I never did.
Never did, never will. And Barb certainly can't stand people who are.
The ones that hoity-toity, they can stay home. I just tell them, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
For 54 years, Barbara has called this place home. And for 30 of those years, she's helped watch over her neighbor.
Yeah, I keep the keys. How about on top of spaghetti?
On top of a dusty hill just across the street is her neighbor, the tank.
Oh, I love that tank.
It has become a popular destination.
Hey, you know, at least this time we're not trailing through mud.
The sort of place...
Oh, you can do it. Come on. Come on.
Where small town USA becomes a big...
Oh, it gets bigger.
Well, really big.
It's gonna keep getting bigger.
Deal.
You can go feet first. You can't find any place like this anywhere. It's called the portal. It's a different world in there.
I've been coming here since I was a kid.
What makes this place special is not what the eye can see, it's what the ear can hear.
It's kind of spiritual. You hear sound in a new way coming from yourself.
It's the Taj Mahal of singing. It really is.
I love bringing new people inside so that they can experience it for themselves.
People have been coming from all over. International artists just love it.
Germany, England.
They love how a tune can carry for 45 seconds to a minute.
They say the acoustics is unbeatable. Nobody can even compare with it.
Special things don't always last forever. The tank they loved so much was about to be silenced due to its rusty conditions.
Oh, yeah.
That's when its followers said, why not try and raise $42,000 to spruce it up?
It's incredible. In 3 weeks, they raised over $46,000 with donations from around the world and in the town of Rangeley.
Eventually, a new door will be built so no one has to crawl through the portal anymore. And solar lighting will be installed to build a brand new recording studio.
I think that any musician in the world can hear themselves and their instrument in a whole new way once they come in here.
People who pass through Rangeley might not think twice about the bland little town, but if you were to stop for a minute and listen, you might just hear what the fuss is all about.
It may put it in a worldwide map, yep.
In the northwest corner of Colorado, in Rangeley, this is Kevin Torres, 9 News.
By its very definition, there is a stigma attached to the word foreign.
There's too many people that drive by these communities and don't even know what they are.
Yet in this 1 square block of East Denver,
To the front, to the back, to the seesaw side, to the front.
camaraderie is the byproduct of what outsiders might consider strange and unfamiliar.
And where did they live? Do you remember?
10 ethnic groups call the Grace Apartments home. Here, when the melting pot simmers, you smell it.
A lot of times it's curry, sometimes you can smell coconut milk in the air. One of our biggest concerns is that the kids are in the alley and in the parking lots.
90% of the children here are children of refugees.
It's wonderful that they enjoy playing outside, but of course it's not safe.
It's why early last year, the Trust for Public Land offered this land as a way to literally get children off of the streets and alleys.
It is not safe to play outside on the street.
Just as nearby Westerly Creek continued to flow, so in turn did progress on the park.
It has been a long time, but I am very grateful for having this park right now.
Gracias. Gracias very much.
When it, in the community garden, finally opened, a once forgotten square block of land quickly became a home away from the cruel home of yesterday.
Hey, where are you going, man?
On any given weekend,
Get back here.
the appropriately named New Freedom Park welcomes a crowd as diverse as any World Cup match.
He's from Senegal, he's from Nppa, he's from Sweden. Where are you from? Burundi. He's from Burundi, I'm from Nppa, and he's from Mexico.
Do the Burmese soldiers give you problems?
Yeah.
In your village?
Yeah.
They do?
They do.
Frank Anello works with people who are not far removed from refugee camps.
I was one of the unaware people. I was living right down the street from them and drove by this intersection time and time again and didn't know anything about it.
He says the park symbolizes something that can't be confined to 1 square block.
Instead of isolating the different groups, it brings everybody together. Kids don't care about where they're from, they just want to play together.
There's no racism here. Everybody loves each other, you know?
Yet, sometimes even life in a foreign land carries with it all too familiar risk.
On behalf of the city, our deepest condolences.
Earlier this year,
someone knows what happened here.
A refugee from Burma lost her 2 boys less than a block away from New Freedom.
So I challenged the person that was driving the car that night to have the courage to come forward.
A hit and run.
And a moment of silence for their mother. Keep her in our prayers that she recovers.
The driver remains unknown.
Go away, come again another day. Daddy want to play. Rain, go away.
Not that it will keep a Burmese father like Kaichit from coming back.
Here, I'm free.
This park is far removed from a refugee camp in Thailand.
And where did you meet this lady?
This lady, I met her in Rangoon.
In Rangoon. And your life changed forever.
Yeah.
So you're giving your daughter a lot different life than what you had.
Happy birthday to you.
The stigma we far too often attach to the word foreign ignores the simple fact that in the end, no matter the home from whence we came, we all share something universal. Fathers like Kai will always carry a soft spot in their heart for their daughters.
Score. Nice play.
And children will always look for a nearby place to play.
It is fantastic. It is. Mark. Put him on pressure.
In a land of new freedom, that is hardly a foreign concept.
New freedom for every group that lives in this area. People who thought they'd never see freedom ever again.
With photojournalist Corky Scholl.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.